Hawkeye Volume 1 Epic Collection. I meant to do this years ago when this came out, but unfortunately things got in the way and I read other stuff. And this is one of those ones like I got annoyed with these epic collections to begin with like Black Widow and Silver Surfer and Hawkeye because there's a lot of reprints from Iron Man original stuff and Avengers original stuff that like is already collected in those editions. And yes, that happens. There's about half the book of this is that. And then you get some Marvel team up stuff and a Hawkeye miniseries and a couple stuff from Marvel Super Action and Marvel Fanfare, which are stories that would not be collected in those to round it out. Now, because Hawkeye was kind of a sparse character in terms of like his actual development from 1964 to 1988, this is one volume that spans those years. And then the next volume actually just covers his solo Avengers title, in which he, ran for 20 plus issues. So that seems like more of the starting point, except for the miniseries here. For the actual Hawkeye as a solo character, but it is necessary to get this, so it was nice to reread these and refresh them. All the Stan Lee stuff I love. So the Iron Man situations where he meets up with Iron Man and does his origin as Hawkeye, where he's like, you know what, I see these characters, I want to be a hero too, and then he gets caught up and gets framed for stealing something, and then gets caught up with Black Widow, so he ends up being an Iron Man villain by mistake. Over the course of these issues here, it's very fun, and we learn about Black Widow because she's pretty new in those issues as well. Good to read those. Now, in issue 16, Hawkeye joins, and what happens here is Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and I've actually not read the Avengers Epic Collections yet, so I'm actually this is pretty fresh to me. There's a whole new Avengers team that comes on as a few of the Avengers decide to go part their own ways over the course of this, and Hawkeye is one that gets joined up in this one as well. It skips ahead to different Avengers issues later, and Hawkeye later on starts to feel like he is useless on the team as just a guy who's shooting arrows. And so he takes the Ant-Man Giant Man serum and becomes Goliath for a little bit for 3 issues here. And in this Goliath, we learn about his brother who ends up dying. And we learn about the swordsman who trained him to be an archer in the past as well. And so we get some good background on Hawkeye's history, and I guess that's why that's put in here into these issues. Now, Marvel Tales, we get a little Hawkeye vignette in here, which is very nice. And you see that Kid Colt Outlaw is a part of that. And we've got the Marvel House style art, which is very nice to look at over the course of this as well. So totally enjoyable stuff so far. And we get some team ups here, as you see. Marvel Fanfare, we get a very short Hawkeye vignette also with this one's got the scans not quite as good in the deal. It looks a little jaggedy from whatever scan was used here versus some of the other stuff, but it's a very quick one there. Then we're back to the Avengers, and we see this like sort of a team up against the Taskmaster with just him and Ant-Man. This Avengers issue really is just those two involved in that. And then we get this here, this black and white issue. And this is, it doesn't have anything to do with Hawkeye, actually. It just has Mockingbird and her origin in here. And she was called the Huntress to begin with. And I guess there were probably problems with that trademark-wise. And so they labeled her Mockingbird later. This is her first adventure. And she's like, on the run with S.H.I.E.L.D. in Central America and things like that. Really cool and beautiful art on that too. So then we get a Spider-Man Mockingbird team up where we learn more about Mockingbird again, and have this team up where this whole situation with S.H.I.E.L.D. breaks down. And it turns out like she's trying to root out corruption in S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury actually kind of likes that at the end of the day. And that brings us to the Hawkeye miniseries. And the reason Mockingbird's put in there, which is great because I don't think Mockingbird really needs her own special separate epic collection, is she's an integral part of the Hawkeye series. And I loved this miniseries. This miniseries made this epic collection really worth the read here because it's the first series. It's written by Mark Grunwald and drawn by Brett Breeding, who I'm not that familiar with, but it's Marvel House style of the 80s. Very, very easy stuff here. Hawkeye's an Avenger. He's working now at a corporation, which is kind of corrupt. And there's problems with this. And he's got a girlfriend there who's also in his corporation, and she is actually betraying him at the beginning of this. And Hawkeye gets really depressed because of this situation. Meets up with Mockingbird, but he just kind of wants to die. He loses his job, doesn't want to do anything. And Mockingbird kind of pulls him out of depression as they hunt down the actual culprits of what goes down over the next 4 issues. So really a lot of fun and very huge personal development of the characters through this series also. We're getting to some more here. I think we're still in the Hawkeye miniseries. If I'm turning the pages correctly. Yeah, we're in issue number 3. There's a 4-issue miniseries. Really nice. Then there's a Captain America team-up issue where he teams up with Captain America and fights off some... Here's the end of the Hawkeye series where him and Mockingbird end up getting together and eloping. And there's one other issue after that, which I think is a Marvel fanfare or whatnot, which shows, again, some more Hawkeye solo stuff where he's just kind of doing his thing. This is a weird one. It's written by J.M. DeMatteis, and he's out in Yosemite, and he like runs into this like Native American spirit guy who like has Hawkeye fight the spirit of the forest who's gone corrupt for a bit, and then Hawkeye kind of comes out of it. So totally one-shot stock issue, but it works. It was kind of fun. So this was a really fun read and really fast to read through because it was so good all the way through. There's no stinkers in this one, which is really, when you get this many different writers and this many different miniseries, you never know what you're going to get on that front. And I think this Hawkeye Volume 1 is just good Marvel history all the way through and really dials into the character a lot. I really loved Mockingbird throughout all of this as well. Art's really nice all the way through. Story's really nice all the way through. And just good stuff. So I call this a 9 out of 10 for Epic Collections. Good stuff here. Make sure to pick this up if you like Hawkeye and are interested in the character. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.